Welcome back to AI Talks with Chris and Nita, everybody. You know, today we're going to do a deep dive into active learning. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's a subset of machine learning,
Yeah.
but it's kind of different, because the algorithm actually gets to choose the data it wants to learn from.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
It is. It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. I mean,
Yeah.
instead of, just passively taking in whatever data we feed it,
Yeah,
like, wait a minute, I want to learn about this.
exactly.
So it's much more proactive.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to kind of, break down today.
Yeah, definitely.
So how does that actually work?
Exactly. How does this picking and choosing thing work? Does it have like a little brain where it's like, oh, I like that data point?
Well, not quite a brain, but it does have a strategy.
Okay.
So we start with a small labeled data set, and we train like an initial model.
Right.
And then imagine that model looking at this vast sea of unlabeled data.
So it's almost like finding a needle in a haystack then.
Exactly.
But the model has some tools to help it.
Okay.
So we've got things like margin,
Okay.
which tells us how confident the model is about its prediction.
Cool.
We have variance,
Okay.
which measures how much those predictions could change with slightly different data.
Yeah.
And we have entropy,
Okay.
and that's all about how surprised the model is by a certain data point. So the higher the surprise,
Yeah.
the more the model needs to learn about that area.
So basically the algorithm is figuring out where it's most clueless.
Precisely.
Okay.
And that brings us to the query technique.
Okay.
So the algorithm can strategically select the data points that it's most uncertain about
Right.
and ask for labels.
Okay, hold on. So is it like sending us an email like, hey, can you label this for me?
Well, not an email, but you could think of it that way.
Okay.
The algorithm flags these data points for what we call an oracle,
Right.
which is usually a human expert
Okay.
who can provide those missing labels.
So it's kind of like raising its hand in class and being like,
Yeah.
yes, I don't really get this. Can you explain a little bit more?
Exactly.
Okay, all right, got it.
Yeah.
So it's getting that helping hand to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
But then what happens after it has the labels?
Then the model gets a knowledge boost.
Okay.
So it takes those fresh labels,
Yeah.
adds them to the training data,
Okay.
and retrains itself.
So it's basically going back to school,
Yeah, like getting some new textbooks.
like a whole new set of information.
Exactly. And becoming more knowledgeable and accurate with each iteration.
I think that's what I find most fascinating about all this.
Yeah.
We always assume that, the more data, the better the results.
Right.
But active learning is kind of showing us
Yeah.
that sometimes it's about quality over quantity.
Yeah.
It's about choosing the right data points to learn from.
Exactly. And that's one of the biggest advantages of active learning
Yeah.
is efficiency.
Right.
It can achieve really high accuracy with a smaller but carefully selected data set.
And so I imagine in fields like healthcare,
Oh, absolutely.
where labeled data is so expensive,
Yeah, and hard to come by.
this could be a huge, game changer.
Huge.
I mean, it's like giving the algorithm a little bit of agency in its own education.
Right. Gets to decide what it wants to learn about.
Exactly.
Pretty cool stuff.
It is cool stuff. And thanks for breaking it all down for us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I learned a lot, and I'm sure our listeners did as well. And we'll see everybody next time.
See you later.
Bye.